Good morning, Year 3, and welcome to Wednesday. It's the 27th of January, and this is Mr. Parsons with your latest writing lesson. I hope you're all well and keen to get started. Remember, we're looking at the Dragon Snatcher. We're writing to entertain dragon enthusiasts through our narrative story writing. The Dragon Snatcher story is moving on. George is now on the dragon. He's flying. You wrote that yesterday, didn't you? He's flying, but he doesn't know where. Today, it's all about approaching the castle and having that shift of feeling going from excited, thrilling, fast, exciting riding on the back of a dragon to, ooh, this doesn't feel very friendly. I don't really like the look of the place we're heading to. So we are now right in the middle of our build-up, building up now a sense of anticipation and a sense of fear and nervousness. So there they are. They're on the back of the dragon, and this is George's first chance to spot that castle. That is going to be what you're going to prepare to write today, and then you're going to actually do the writing tomorrow. So today we are learning to make the reader feel caution or nervousness, a sense of mystery, even evil. And we're doing this because we want to entertain our reader and make our writing worth reading. So your success criteria: write about George and the dragon's approach to the castle. Ensure that we communicate through our vocabulary choices that the reader that this is now a nervous, mysterious approach with a sense of evil. And we're going to try and use those prepositions in our sentences, prepositions of place. So this is a bit of a change from yesterday's writing. It's a feeling of nervous mystery with a sense of evil within the castle. So I've given you a different word mat. This is my tension, suspense, and mystery word mat. Do you remember it from yesterday? Good. Well, yesterday you take some of these words and you entered them onto this sheet. Now mine's only still filled in with my nervous section, but you should have that sheet filled in all three boxes. Have it with you now. If you haven't got it, go and get it, because you're going to need it for this piece of writing. So down here, I've put the first part of my word list. These are my nervous type words: cautiously, tremble, ice cold draft, shudder, unease. I'm going to try and use some of those now in my writing. Once again, like on Monday, you're going to need your own paper for this. I haven't provided you with a sheet. So you need to write the dum-tum on the sheet. Try and make the reader feel nervous with a sense of mystery and evil. And then you're going to need to start your writing onto here. So I'm going to model for you my writing process once again. So how are we going to start this? Well, I want George to get a feeling that something's not right. And I want him to get that feeling through the dragon, because the dragon knows that something's not right in the castle. George has no idea, doesn't even know where he's going. So it's the dragon that has that sense of nervousness, and I want George to pick that up through the dragon. So he's gonna detect it. He's going to sense the dragon's nervousness. Good. So George sensed the dragons, and so the nervousness belonging to the dragon, so it's apostrophe S, sensed the dragon's nervousness, and he slowed down. Full stop. Okay, so there's my first sentence. George sensed the dragon's nervousness and he slowed down. I'm just going to have a quick look at my word bank here. And I noticed that I could have used the word unease instead of nervousness. So I'm going to actually change that word now to unease. And I'm going to tick off that word to show that I've used it. So there we go, I've used the word unease. George sensed the dragon's unease and he slowed down. Who slowed down? Well, I suppose they both slowed down, but it was really the dragon who slowed down. Well, I don't need to say who actually. I could simply say the flight. Their flight slowed down. Okay, and their flight slowed down. And their flight slowed down. And their flight slowed. Yeah, I don't need the word down. And their flight slowed. George sensed the dragon's unease and their flight slowed. Okay, I think I'm quite happy with that. I'd like him to pick up another feeling from the dragon. I think the dragon has slowed down. I think the dragon needs to have another nervous response. Let's have a look. We could have tremble. Yes, the dragon could tremble, or the dragon could shudder. Oh, yeah, I like that. Maybe there's a shudder. The dragon shudders. Maybe has a shudder in his spine. Maybe down the dragon's spine, he gets a shuddering feeling. So, yeah, George could feel the dragon shudder. George could feel the dragon's shuddering spine. George could feel the dragon's spine shudder. Do I need to use George again? I used George in the last sentence. He will be fine. He could feel the dragon's, again apostrophe S, spine shudder. Full stop. He could feel the dragon's spine shudder. Dragon sensed the dragon's unease and their flight slowed. He could feel the dragon's spine shudder. Yeah, that works well for me. What's George going to do? When George suddenly realizes his dragon's going slower and he can feel this kind of shuddering in the spine, he's going to feel a bit nervous himself, isn't he? He's going to feel a bit worried. So I think he might kind of start to crouch down a bit, maybe. Sort of almost try and hide himself. He crouched. I could do crouched. He crouched down. He crouched closer. He nestled closer. Oh, I like that, nestled. He nestled closer as I'm going to now bring in my ice cold draft. That's going to get a chill down his neck as an ice cold draft went down his back. He nestled closer as an ice cold draft went down his back. Good. As an ice cold draft went down his back. Full stop. He nestled closer as an ice cold draft went down his back. Went. Better word than went. The ice cold draft trickled down his back. No, I want something more sudden than that. Shot down his back. It's an ice cold draft shot down his back. Great. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I've done ice cold draft and I've done shudder. So I can tick that one off. And I can tick that one off. So I think I'm finished with my nervous section. I've shown lots of nervousness in this section of my writing. So I think I'm ready to move on to the next section, which is mysterious, and then finishing with that sense of evil linked to the castle. So I want something to feel mysterious. I'm going to talk about what's going on around the dragon now. What's mysterious? I know when things get clouded in fog and mist, that makes things mysterious, doesn't it? So I could have something foggy, misty. I'm going to have a thick mist. Yes, a thick mist. What did a thick mist do? The thick mist surrounded them. A thick mist. A thick mist surrounded. Surrounded? No, I think it's going to come across. Not necessarily them, but the place they're in. because they're sort of heading towards this mysterious, spooky place. So I'm going to say a thick mist swept. Yes, it kind of swept the mountains, swept the landscape. Swept the landscape. A thick mist swept the landscape. Put a simile in there. Thick mist swept the landscape like something closing in, like sort of storm clouds, I think. Something like a kind of storm kind of gathering. Yeah, that'll do, like storm clouds gathering. Thick mist swept the landscape like storm clouds gathering. Yes, so that's an idea for my mysterious section. Now I need the castle. I'm going to use a preposition of place here. Ahead of them. Ahead of them. Oh, I think even better would sound before them. Before them. Before them was the castle. Before them was the castle. Okay. So that's the first idea, but I need to improve that. Before them was the castle. Before them appeared the castle. If something comes out of the sort of misty fogginess, but it's a really, really big and solid castle, I want it to kind of feel like it's kind of almost towering over them. Loomed would be a good word. Before them loomed the castle. Before them loomed the castle. I need to describe the castle. The something castle. Well, it's going to be surrounded in ice, so I'm going to call it frosty. The frosty dark castle. Oh, a better word than dark is ominous. Kind of has that horrible feeling that something bad is going to happen. Before them loomed the frosty, ominous castle. What do? They're gonna have to get closer, aren't they? Flying closer. Flying closer, comma, what do they notice about them? It's got walls, it's got towers, it's got turrets. Flying closer, the turrets jutted out of the mist. The turrets jutted out of the mist. Yeah, that's good. Flying closer. Flying. Better word than flying. Flying, gliding closer. Swooping closer. Swooping closer. The turrets jutted out of the mist. I think we need to describe the turrets. The something turrets. We need an adjective in there for turrets. The tall turrets. I like tall turrets because it's alliteration. Tall. It doesn't sound very scary, does it? The tall, the terrifying turrets. The terrifying turrets jutted out of the mist. Let's see if that's right. Have we managed to capture this sense of evil about the castle just as they approach? Let's see. Before them loomed the frosty, ominous castle. Swooping closer, the terrifying turrets jutted out of the mist. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to just read it through. Do I feel I'm going to make the reader feel nervous with a sense of mystery and evil? George sensed the dragon's unease and their flight slowed. He could feel the dragon's spine shudder. He nestled closer as an ice-cold draught shot down his back. A thick mist swept the landscape like storm clouds gathering. Before them loomed the frosty, ominous castle. Swooping closer, the terrifying turrets jutted out of the mist. Yeah, I think I've encapsulated that. I've got my simile in there. I've got my preposition of place. I've got my adjectives describing the nouns. And I've got all of my feelings and reactions of all of the characters in there. I'm really happy with that piece of writing today. Now, your piece of writing, of course, won't look smart when it's finished. I've been able to go through and make my changes as I've been typing. But just like Monday, you're going to need to write this out by hand, and then you're going to have to cross things out, add things in, change them around, and that's absolutely fine. It is a messy creative process. If you need to at the end write your writing out in neat so we can see what it says and you see your final piece, then that's fine too. And if you can type it, that's even better. Now, if that's too much of a challenge for you, a few of you might like to use my simplified sheet. On the simplified sheet, I've simply given you some sentence starters to get you going. George could tell the dragon was nervous by the way he. Ahead, George could see. A thick mist did what. So there's a few sentence starters to help you out there if you need it, but you don't have to use that at all. Your extension is to go back and check the number and quality of your prepositions. So go back and highlight or underline any prepositions you've used and think, could I have made them better prepositions? Is there a preposition on the preposition sheet that maybe has now inspired me to use a different idea? Talking about what's beside, in front of, above, below, under, the dragon or George or the castle. So I hope you have fun sharing your writing. Read it to somebody, see if you can make them feel that sense of nervous mystery or that notion of evilness in the castle. Have lots of fun writing your work today. Can't wait to see it and share it with us later. Have fun today, and I'll see you again for tomorrow's lesson.